The arrest of over 100 illegal miners in Krugersdorp has brought the spotlight back on to the issue of illegal mining activities in the country as a whole. Today, one person has been killed in Kagiso following a shutdown over the levels of crime in that area. A report by the mining security specialists, that's Blue Hawk Tactical, has revealed that the police are overwhelmed by the heavily armed, highly connected network of illegal mining syndicates. Let's talk more about this now, and we're joined by the Minister of Mineral Resources, Gwede Mantashe, who talks to us from Pretoria. Minister, good morning to you. Perhaps let's first get your reaction on the fluid situation that is unfolding in Kagiso. One person who is understood to possibly be an illegal miner has been killed. Your reaction, please.
Morning, Kole. We have been discussing the issue of illegal mining. First clarity we are always giving is that illegal mining is not a mining activity. It is a criminal activity because it is illicit trading about with minerals, and therefore it's an issue that needs an attention. In 2019, it cost our economy not less than 41 billion rand. So it's quite an urgent matter. You'll recall, Toli, that when there was a crisis in KZN of the floods, some of us couldn't attend that because we had a crisis in Krugersdorp where we had 95 illegal miners closed under the ground with a rock fall, closed them in, and a few of them died. So it's an issue that needs urgent attention. I've been raising it with the Minister of Police that we need to have a specialized unit dealing with illegal mining, because sometimes you get all sorts of stories of people who are local getting entangled in the network. You need a specialized unit that will be brought in from time to time from one area to the other.
Yeah. Minister, I'm going to ask you to be quite brief in your responses because we have a lot to get through and so little time. Let me quickly latch on to my next question, and that is that, did it have to take the savage rape of 8 young women for your department to wake up to the reality of illegal mining in Krugersdorp specifically? And I'm saying this on the back of a conversation I have just had with the mayor there, who says site inspections were conducted only yesterday by your department.
The reality is that that is not actually factual. We have been working on this. If you notice, Tony, you will discover that there was a time when the hotspot was the East Rand. We have attended to that, closed those shafts, sealed holes, and there is reduced activity in the East Rand almost to the minimal. Now, when we met yesterday, we said, listen guys, leave the program, attend to West Village in Krugersdorp urgently. But we also alerted to the fact that we had similar activities in Krugersdorp and in Velkom. And therefore, it's quite a widespread activity.
It's a widespread activity, Minister, allowed so by this government of the African National Congress. In your department sit the rehabilitation funds that come from these mining companies that when they're done with whatever it is that they were doing, they leave it, I suppose, to you to go and seal those mines. Why is that money not filtering through so that these mines that are now being taken advantage of by the illegal miners are sealed?
Actually, we're talking of what we call derelict and ownerless mines, which is owned by no mining company, but are a legacy of the past practices. That is what we are attending to. The rehabilitation fund that is current is used currently, but bigger problem is derelict and ownerless mines that have a history. I don't know if you will recall, Koli, because we forget in South Africa. There was a case between our department and DBS where we were given a judgment that said any problem that predate the MPRDA should not be treated in terms of the MPRDA. Despite that, we're dealing with those cases because we don't think that it was a correct judgment, but we must deal with derelict and ownerless mines.
When you say you're dealing with ownerless mines, a legacy of mining of past decades, are you in some way suggesting that these are mines that were operated before democracy and post-democracy, they are someone else's responsibility? Is that what you're suggesting?
No, I'm saying that judgment implies that, but in the department we deal with ownerless and derelict mines irrespective. It's not a decade, it's more than a century of mining that we're talking about. That's why the big problem in the Witwatersrand, where there is minimal mining activity happening, is a problem today, and we're attending to those problems.
How are you attending to the problems, Minister? Because I remember a time when you were the Secretary General of the ANC. I interviewed you and you were talking about how at some point the whole issue of illegal mining actually needs to be formalized so that you give licenses so that people actually do this legally. Where is that process?
No, I never have that view. My own view is that there's a difference between artisanal mining and illegal mining. Artisanal mining is what we're dealing with. There's a number of people who are trained in the Northern Cape on artisanal mining. So that program is continuing. Illegal mining is not a mining activity. You can't legalize it. It's a criminal activity. You don't legalize criminal activities. It's a police case, and when the police are actually converging in Krugersdorp, is what should happen. But I'm still insisting that we should have a specialized unit that focuses on illegal mining. And that specialized unit is a solution to a great extent for the illegal aspect of mining.
Yeah. All right. Minister, I want to talk to you in your capacity as chairperson of the ANC. But quickly before I do that, is it possible for you to just give a straightforward answer as to why is it so difficult to seal these mines, even the ones that you say are a legacy of centuries ago? Money is there. All that it takes is for that money to be released, and you take these big machines that go and seal these things. Why is it impossible to do in a month?
That is an abstract approach to a concrete problem. I was sitting with MINDEC yesterday and CGS, Council for Geoscience, which are actually running that project. Actually, MINDEC is stealing about 40 holes per annum. That's why the backlog in the East Rand has been eradicated. We are going to move them to West Rand now because of the pressure that has arisen out of this, and that is going to be attended. I don't know if there is a pile of money sitting there for rehabilitation. It should be managed properly because it is allocated to us in tranches per annum.
How long does it usually take to seal? Let's use one hole, whether it would have been a gold mine, and we know how deep these go nowadays, given the elongated time that these mining companies would take for them to extract whatever until they realize there is nothing there. So how long would it take to seal a mine?
I'm saying the project is sealing 40 holes per annum. Then you can divide that by 12. You'll get close to the answer.
40 holes per annum. All right. Minister, I now
Yes.
talk to you in your capacity as leader of the ANC. It's been 28 years, Mr. Mantashe. 8 young girls have had to go through a horrible process or a horrible ordeal, being raped repeatedly by men who are assumed to be the ones who are doing illegal mining. Is it not insulting to the people of South Africa for the ANC to go and march outside the very court where your government is responsible for why these women fell victim to this?
Is it, Boli? Society is much bigger than the ANC. Until we appreciate that, we're going to commit mistakes, because every mistake in society is going to be thrown at the ANC. It's a governing party. I accept that. But the reality of the matter is that the smallest unit of any society is a family. What is happening in our families? How do you constitute those families into communities, and those communities into society? So society is much, much broader than the ANC and government. And that's why, to deal with crises of society.
It's not load shedding, okay. It's back now. But, Minister, I'm saying to you that...
No, it's electricity efficiency.
I'm saying to you, it is insulting for the governing party to go and march to a court over an issue that you, when you are out there campaigning for elections, you're happy to say, we are the leader of society. But when trouble comes, you say, issues are bigger than the ANC. These go right down to a family unit. At which point do you stop talking from both sides of your mouth?
No, it's not both sides of the mouth. ANC is located in society. That's why when it is a leader of society, it must be part of society. If there is an incident in Krugersdorp and people are actually outraged, ANC must be part of that outrage. Otherwise, it should be an abstract concept to have a party. It is not an ANC that is trying to throw something around. It is an ANC that is seeing itself as part of the problem, is interacting with that problem, and it is marching there as part of a societal activity of outrage.
All right. I suppose, therefore, it is the best time for me to wrap this conversation by saying, all right, so the ANC must march alongside the community when trouble comes so that they are seen as part of that community. Well, your spokesperson alongside the NEC member there, Dakota Lekwete, they did exactly that. Nomvula Mokonyane would have been there as well. They said, let's go out and mobilize so that we root out the issue of illegal miners. What happened today? They were nowhere to be seen, and the person has died. Is that what you call responsible leadership?
I don't know who went there. I'm talking of the ANC as a body. If there are members of the ANC there, it is not marching alongside society. Its activity is integrated with the activity of a community. And therefore, that is what should happen if you claim to be a leader of society. You must be part of that society and be part of community activities. It's not alongside. You are losing a wrong term, Koli.
All right, I'll correct my term, but a person has died, Mr. Mantashe, and your leaders of the ANC, quote unquote, said, let's go out and mobilize from as early as tomorrow. And that's what the community did, but they were leaderless. A person has died. Is that responsible leadership?
No, leadership, Koli, is not the national chairperson or the secretary general of the ANC. It's ANC structures on the ground. There should be branches of the ANC in that area. And they have leaders, and those leaders must work with leaders of other formations in that community to deal with the issue. And that is what is happening.
Mr. Mantashe, that's where we're going to leave it. I thank you very much for your time and indeed the courtesy of responding to our call when we asked you for this interview. That's the Minister of Mineral Resources and Chairperson of the African National Congress.